have had this Eluktronics MAG 15 for about 2 weeks. Now, of course, my review has been a bit delayed because there was a few issues with the control center, which still exist, but there are, I understand from Bob, there's a beta there. Now, the problem that I had, of course, initially, of course, the balance mode caps the GPU at 645 megahertz, and that's still the case for mine that they sent me. But Bob has one where that's not the case, and I think XMG has one too. So that will get back to normal, I'm sure, by the time you buy this laptop. Battery saver, of course, as you know, that drops it down even further. So you play on that, you'll get like 20 FPS. Because I've got gaming mode and electro boost. Unfortunately, electro boost doesn't seem to do anything. You've got max fans and max power. This, of course, maxes the fans out totally. And you do get slightly better performance on that. From what I measured, the average GPU clock seems to be a little bit higher on this. So that does help a little bit. I wouldn't say it's a huge difference. And of course, if you're on gaming mode, you can choose between having a standard fan or performance fan. Well, of course, max fans max it out. Now, the other issue, of course, is the fact that you've got a 75-degree cap on the GPU. So Bob was kind enough to share with us all, using the Asus Tweak here too. You can change the thermal up to the spec of 87 degrees. So that's good to know. So at the moment, I'll just set it at 75 so you can see what we've got there. And I'm going to try some new games here, actually. Battlefront 2. Quit mode. Oh. Quit. Alright, show you the settings on this. I bought this game when it first came out and I've not played it, apart from just here to set it up. Now the settings. So just to show you, I'm playing everything on Ultra 1080p. DX12, I changed it to DX12 as well. But to sum up this Eluktronics MAG 15, I really do like it. I don't know if anybody's had the Razer 15, but it's very comparable to that in terms of build quality. You know, but you've got some extras to it. You know, it's probably a little bit of a blend between the advanced and the base model in the sense that you got a Ethernet port.
ATM 6 closing in for the kill.
But you do have a bigger battery, 94 watt-hour battery.
Our walker is temporarily exposed to enemy fire and requires your aid.
Well, I don't know how to do aid. Trying to get out of this freaking bunker. Trying to get stood on. Oh, fucking hell. Getting shot at already. Perhaps I should stay in one of these holes.
Annihilate anything in our way.
So you'll notice it mentions temperature there. Of course, it's downclocking. Now in my tests, I did testing on, this is on gaming and then electro boost mode. I tested this in max performance mode, and I averaged out the GPU clock. And I did some tweaks for the fan curve. Is there anybody to shoot here?
Squad, take position in the mine hangar control zone.
Now we've got to secure, we've got to get in there. Bloody hell. Bloody hell, it's like I could do some smoke grenades here. I don't know if I can go through here. Let's go underground. Yes, guys, I'm glad I fell down that hole. Bloody hell. Ah! There's nowhere to hide. F, what's that do? Oh, it's a shield! I've got a fucking shield, man! Should know that before. You're acting good. Shield, where's my shield? What button's the shield? Ah, fuck. So of course I've got liquid metal on this, on the CPU. And it generally runs in the high 80s. It's as bad as Battlefield. So my options for getting the CPU below that 75-degree threshold was to undervolt the CPU a bit and undervolt the GPU. And all those did help. They do work. Let's do shield. F. There's freaking mayhem there. I don't know how you can actually win. Do I just suck? Alright. So that's that game. But you see I was getting good frame rates at 81 FPS. Alright, let's put it on a different game then. In fact, you saw before there how the GPU was throttling down there. So let's get this up to 87. So now it's how it should be. Now that we're hoping that there will be a fix at some point, because Intel, of course, did this in the BIOS. So we're hoping that there will be a fix at some point that they'll put a new BIOS or something in. Now, with the temperature of the GPU going up, you should expect the CPU temperature to go up as well accordingly. But the CPU's throttle's at 90 degrees, so they'll be hitting that point here, no doubt. I got the fan noise was around about 53 decibels at max, or 52 to 53. Not too bad. In my review, I've recorded also the sound of the keys. The keys were like 46 decibels. The Triton 500 was 45 decibels, and the Wi-Fi 44 decibels. So yeah, it's slightly louder with a slight clicking sound, but not a huge difference, to be honest. I mean, yeah, you can hear it if you're in an office and you've got somebody who wants total silence, but depends on how hard you press them, of course. But you know, that's what I measured. Now the screen, very good. What I liked about it, I mean, it's 330 nits I measured, and outside it was very good. You know, with bright light shining on it. Someone gonna drive it? Oh, fucking hell! You took off without me, you bastard! Yeah, this is ultra settings, yeah. DX11. Yeah, so I've got all the eye candy on. I don't like this map because you've just got to... It's just too freaking big. You get sniped. So he's a sniper. Now what I say, the only thing I don't like is the speakers, but I like how portable it is. The battery life I was getting around about, I got 7 hours in my YouTube test, that's streaming YouTube. Lowest bright, well, 25% brightness, power saver, no key lighting. But when I was checking comments, you know, it lasted me about 5 to 5.5 hours, and the brightness was about 50-60%, I had key lighting on. I wasn't going to be running any special power saver mode, so I think it was unbalanced. Yeah, it should. Yeah, I mean, it can handle all that. It can handle streaming. Ah, Jesus! I was just about to go in there. So yeah, it can handle streaming of Minecraft, no problem. In fact, it would handle the stream here, no problem. I mean, the CPU on it runs really well. Now, like with all laptops, you know, once it starts throttling down with the power throttle, it doesn't, you know, just runs like anything else. But with an undervolt, it's probably one of the fastest 9070-50s out there. Oh, I came from behind. I need to flank these buggers. I hate this map. No, my balance mode's still the same. Look, watch. I'll hide in this. I'll hide in the shadows. So balance mode, and this is even with the 87 degree thing there. 645. Look. Like a tank. Get out of the way! I don't want to get built by a tank.
Attention, we have lost objective Taser.
Still playable though.
Ich bin bei dir, ja?
So yeah, so that's not doing so good, is it? So mine's not fixed, but there is an update coming up for that. So let's put on max fans, so you can see what any difference here. Max performance. So you do get slightly better performance like this. Stuff. Bloody hell! Tanks. Look at another tank. So I have tanks and snipers around here.
Ich bin bei dir.
I got you, mate. Don't worry about that.
Halt still, das haben wir gleich.
Aha, there's a sniper over there. Okay. Ah, you sniper! That's what you get for sniping! Oh, fucking tank! Alright. So, sorry about the question. Max fans, actually max fans? Yeah, it is. So this is max fans, and I'll... you can see that. That's 57 decibels, but that's right over the laptop. But what I found was max. If you play with the gaming mode, that maxes out to the same fan's noise anyhow, so it becomes irrelevant. And the temperatures are very similar, so it makes no difference. I created a fan curve here. I'll show you this. So my idea here was the average boost clock of the GPU was around about 13 to 1400, about 1400 or so it was, yeah. So what I decided to do was do like a 1450 to around about this voltage here to about 900, and slowly ramp it up. So the idea being it would be around about 1500 to 1550, and it did seem to work. And I also did that with an undervolt. Now I created a few undervolt profiles here. That's that one. Now this is the setting I had for CPU only work, and that worked well there. But this one, okay, yeah. All right, so this is the one I did with this setting. So a 3700 clock rate, and as you see, an undervolt of minus 145. So let's try that. There's just two of us, eh? Don't count on me to save your bacon, mate. This thing like a freaking guns on here. Look, bastard.
Let's do this thing.
Good, I've got a gun. Now I can help. Where now, buddy? You fucked off, you're on the train. How much is the 1660 Ti? Yeah, I have. I've looked at it. The 1660 Ti Razer, the base model, that was like $17.99. So that's like $1,800 compared to $1,500 here. And the benefit of this, you can max it out to 64 gigabytes of RAM. You know, so plus it's got the SD card reader, which the Razers don't have. No, are you? You're not having a shit, are you? I think you're having a shit. You can't do that. I'll look for some toilet paper. Now, what have I got here? So, yeah, so I've got this at 3,700 megahertz. I've reduced it back down to the 75-degree limit, right? And you can see there, it's 71 degrees. It's holding a clock, which I set quite nicely. So you don't need to do that Asus Tweak. It's nice, but...
Care package coming in.
The problem with that, it'll also increase the temperature of the CPU. So I've got the CPU here running pretty well, isn't it? 75, 71. So I think this is working fine. Now I could, once it takes getting to some cover, I could switch it again, I guess. Right, so let's... Hold on. I overclocked the GPU as well here by 123. So let's see how we get on now with that.
Reading the feed. Half the squads are out.
So we were at like what, 1455 clock rate on the GPU before. Now we're at like 1785. I don't know where my guy is. So what are the questions we've got?
Good news for
Yeah, it's running cool. So yeah, I mean the problem is with setting at 87 degrees on the GPU, it will obviously run hot on the GPU, and then you got 3 shared heat pipes. So the CPU is bound to get a bit hotter too. I'm just showing that you don't need to do that. What other options that I have? The other profiles I had set were setting the CPU to that one. No, this is what the one I was generally using, but that 3700 is working well. Let's see how we're getting on here. Well, I honestly can't find my guy. He's fucked off.
Give me my shields to recharge.
Give my shields a recharge. Anyway, that's over with, thankfully. Alright. Aha, I've tested that in my review. Does it support G-Sync through Thunderbolt 3 to... Well, I connected using my Thunderbolt 3 cable directly to the monitor, because that's the only cable I could have. I didn't have an adapter. And, you know, of course I could use the monitor fine. I know I've got a 3840 by 1600 monitor. It's a FreeSync monitor, but it does do G-Sync via FreeSync. And the option was there, but it said it was not compatible. And, you know, I tried playing, and I was getting tearing, you know. So, and yeah, but perhaps, and if you had a G-Sync monitor, it might be different. I did also test out using a Razer core. So I connected Thunderbolt 3 to the Razer core. It took a little bit initially to get going. At first I thought I didn't have the Thunderbolt controller installed. I fannied around with that for a bit, but I got it to work. I couldn't get G-Sync to work on that either, and I was quite surprised. I could check it this time. It would allow me to check it. And although it said it was done, I was getting tearing though, you know, so I don't know what was going on there. But it would allow, it said the display was compatible then, but not via the Thunderbolt 3 port connected directly to the monitor. Now the performance-wise was pretty disappointing using the Razer core. I've got an RTX 2080 desktop card, and it was performing the same as a 1660 Ti. so there's really no point.
We live in a new liberal age where we never say anything mean or crude. It's the new America, the one we've always wanted.
Hey, don't get me wrong, America's a great land.
Whoa!
Proves you can conquer.
So here, look at this. I'm holding. I mean, this game now is old, isn't it? But we're only getting a 40% GPU usage. So this is not stressing it hard at all. That's hence it's only like 62 degrees.
And now Los Santos is just coffee shops, banks, and pharmacies.
So an old game like this handles it no problem at all.
I need a bean machine.
This is at very high settings.
I love this town.
Oh.
You know, you just smug about the rest of the country and live in a vacuum, pretending that there's an endless supply of revenue they just hand out to people. And
Look,
for new metro
you want a lift? Yeah. Hey, fuck off!
Hey, get off me!
Yeah, try to steal my car. Oh god, not you as well. Oh, you got a knife? Get off.
They call me the butcher.
No gang of them now.
Work hard, okay? Your younger generation, millennials, don't understand that. You just listen to your iFruit phone. And do
Hey, look out for fools like me!
Yeah, yeah. I'll teach you to get on top of me, man. I love that gun, it's great, isn't it? Right, there's the idiots down here, wanna. Oh, boy, diving in down there. Alright, so the CPU now, yeah, 80 degrees. So once you crank up the clock speed on the CPU, of course, it's going to get hotter. So now it's at 1710. Alright, so let's remove that back down to 75. See how we get on here then. Now we'll hit the temperature limit. Oh, these guys, I can't see them. All these stupid poppies. So yeah, so I mean it's still holding a fairly decent clock. Now, let's activate the curve editor on MSI Afterburner. Now this is at 3,900, so we'll still be doing okay though. Yeah, 72 degrees. So all in all, it's not doing too bad, is it? So I think it's better than the 2080 Max-Q Alienware M15. I do. That one's so hot. I reviewed the 1070 Max-Q one. That's when it first came out. Whether they've improved it, I don't know, but it ran really hot then. Now I've got the Triton 500 with a 2080 Max Q, and I've got the I've also got the Omen 15 with a 8-core CPU, the i9. Everything on Ultra here. Situations, and it matches that. It does match that. I'm pretty sure it does. I looked back at a few frame rate comparisons. Now I've tested all these games you've seen here, and I benchmarked them, but it matches that really. So that's not bad. All right, so there you go. It's working pretty well. How does the keyboard compare versus the Alienware M15? I like it. It's a mechanical keyboard, of course. The switches are brown, and it's got about 2mm of travel, so it feels good. It's got good tactile feedback. You can press the keys down around the edges, and they still respond. So I had that question: if you press it on the corner, for instance, do you get any issues? And it still registers. If you press lots of keys at the same time, it registers them, so it's perfectly good. I got no problems with it at all. The keyboard deck is very stiff. You press it hard, and it doesn't move. I mean, it's probably one of the more rigid ones I've tested. So, and it's the RGB lighting is pretty nice too. That's per key. If you compare that to, I think the M15 that has it in zones, doesn't it? Now I do wish this just had a max fan button just by itself. That would be quite nice. Or max performance and max fan. So what else we got here? The GPU isn't being fully utilized. Yeah, it's a 3400. Let's jack that up then. Right, so let's add a 3.9. The bodies are piling up. There was one more bomb there behind the wall, I guess. All right, well, I think that's it. Any more questions? Yeah, the Alienware M15 got hot, and this performs on par. How much does the Alienware M15 cost these days? It's probably something similar. Now, this all spec'd out is $2,450, and that's with 64 gigabytes of RAM, which is probably a little bit overkill. But you do get 2 terabyte of storage as well, which is nice to have, and you've got 2 slots, so you can always jack in another one. So I think all in all, it's a great laptop. I'll show you the mouse that they can send if you get the bundle. Now it's got all the RGB lighting. It reminds me, as I say, of a Razer mouse. Just the 2 buttons there, the DPI setting here, and that works pretty well. And of course, I'll throw in a rubber mouse mat as well, which is fine. But all in all, I think, and I tell you what, I wanted to mention this, that we've been communicating directly with the CEO of the company, yeah, and it's very rare that you get that level of commitment from a computer manufacturer. And he's taken a hands-on approach to getting, the right laptop to its users. He wants to get the best performing laptop to his users, So he's been fighting Intel over that, and he'll continue fighting. And I think for a small company, their support is very good. Now, Bob, of course, has used them for a long time. I remember he had a laptop with an issue. He phoned them, and they replaced it straight away. So I think all in all, they're a great company. They're fairly local to me as well. They're only about 45 minutes away from me. So I do plan to go there and interview them as well. And Bob's been invited if he can make it. So, but all in all, I think it's good. The webcam I say it's still up there at the top as well. It's 720p. It's clear. I think the microphone's a little bit quiet on the quiet side, but all in all, you know, I can't complain. SD card. So if you're a content creator, it's very good. The screen was 97% sRGB type level, and it's got good viewing angles. So not just shipping a good device, but making sure it's a best. I agree, exactly. They want to make it the best it can be. And I think that's very important. They're not just, you know, palming off to Amazon some kind of laptop and just hope it sells in the millions. You know, they will, if there's patches, they'll make sure everybody gets the patch, you know. So I think that is fantastic. And they do update the website a lot, you know. Just good. There's a lot to be said about having a small company. So I think that's about it. My script is nearly done. I've got so much footage. You know, I've tested it on a cooling pad as well. That's one thing I wanted to mention. I put it on a cooling pad, and that didn't really make that much difference. But I did test that. I tested the Thunderbolt port. I've tested Adobe Premiere Pro. I've also I did a Photoshop benchmark as well, so that actually performed on par to my i9 and 2080 Max-Q in the Photoshop benchmark, and that's a long test. So all in all, I think it's a great piece of equipment. Is there any difference between other brands and electronics for this laptop? It's exactly the same. The big difference will be the support. I mean, I can't say anything about XMG. I think also the Electro Boost will be different, although it doesn't seem to work on here. You know, my understanding, it's supposed to push it to a 90 watt part, the 2070, but in my tests it doesn't. But that being said, even though it's only pulling up about, say, 83 watts, it still beats the Lenovo Y740 I've got. And I've been testing that, and I've put that as comparisons in my benchmark graphs. It's beating that, and that's pulling 90 watts. So, and it may well be, and I think the problem with that Y740, they took away the max fan option, so that even though it's pulling 90 watts, the clock rate of the GPU, average clock rate, goes down. So I think that's what's causing that. But so far, yeah, at stock, it was beating it. So that's nice to know. And it's so small. You know, battery life, great. If it had G-Sync, that would be great. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention, the power brick, 230 watt power brick. It's a bit on the large side. I mean, it's not like the Y740 power brick, which is like huge, but compared to the HP Omen 15T with a 2080 Max-Q, it is bigger than that. So since it can't be powered by USB-C, I would have liked to see this quite a bit of a smaller brick to complement its portability. Alright, that's it. I'd like to thank you for watching, guys. Sorry I was on for a bit too long, but I'm going to edit it and I'll slap it up on YouTube. Alright, all the best. Bye.